Hey guys, so in this second part, I'm just going to show you the basics of using these brushes in case you're not that familiar with it. So first of all, we're going to start with the mixer brush tools. And in the previous part, I showed you how to load them. So here, if you load up the mixer brush tools, now first of all, the mixer brush is over here on your left. It looks like this right here. And in case you don't see it, it might be hidden within the little submenu here. So in case you don't have it open already, let's go to the mixer brush tool. And we're on mixer brush, and it's going to look like this across the top. Now, if I'm just going from my source ABR brushes and I click the mixer brush and I start painting, let's just turn off this dark layer. It's just going to paint with whatever color is right here in the foreground. Let's just make it blue, whatever. So if you just take your mixer brushes out of the box and start painting, it's going to paint with the color that's in the foreground. Okay, so basically the mixer brush is these brushes, and it's got settings applied to it so that it has like a wet paint effect. But what we want to do is, if we're using these, we can load up the paint that the colors that I've provided for you. So just to start off with, I'm going to take this green mixer brush and I'm going to go over to the mixer brush palettes and load them up the colors myself. So I've got green mixer brush. Now these are actually basically the same brush, but I'm going to take the green mixer brush and I'm going to go over to my palettes, make sure that the palettes layer is selected, and what I'm going to do is click Option and hover over this green bit, these color samples that I've made for you right here, and click Option, Select, or on the PC it might be Control or Command. I'll put that on put the shortcut down below in the comments. So I've Option Select this green, and then up here you'll see that I've loaded all these colors here. So if I go back over to my document and start painting, well, now you're going to see that color blend like you see in my demos. So the same thing with the gold accent brush. If I start painting with it, it's just going to use the foreground color. But here to my palettes and pick up some gold. So I'm going to hover over this section right here and click Option Select. And that's going to load up that gold here. So now if I go over here and I start painting, well, now you're going to see that really nice gold effect like you see in the demos in the Instagram. Same thing with the light brush ABR. I just select it and start painting, and it's going to just use the last color. But if we go over here to the palettes, and let's load up and click Option and pull up, sample these colors. Well, if I go over here, then you're going to see all those nice colors so that you can draw those little bulb shapes with the colors like I did on my demo. So that's loading it yourself. Now, if you like to, you can go over the tool presets that I've given you, and then you have the mixer brushes, which is the same brushes, but I've already preloaded them with the colors. So here we've got the preloaded green mixer brush, which is ready to go. We've got the preloaded gold accent mixer brush, which is ready to go. The gold lettering mixer brush, there you go. The preloaded lights, we've got that. Preloaded light 2, preloaded light 3. Just got all those little lovely colors mixed in there, and then the preloaded light accent. So everything is preloaded there. The only caveat with the preloaded brushes is that if you change the size, like say I want to resize this and hit my left or right bracket key to take it down, well, you're going to lose that preloaded color, and then it's going to default to whatever color you've sampled last. So if I take my green mixer brush and I left bracket to make, here I'll just paint it, you'll see it's the preloaded green one. Well, if I left bracket and want to make it smaller, well, it's going to take the last color that I've actually sampled. So the last color I actually sampled was this color one. So just a caveat so you know, but when I did the tool presets, they're all at the right, like a nice size. So if you just want to pick them up and start painting, well, then they're in a good size that you can do that. But just a very important thing to know in case you're painting here with this preloaded light tool and then you maybe want to make it bigger or smaller and you go, hey, why is the colors changed? Well, that's why. Anytime you change the size on the mixer brushes, it's going to default back to the last color you sampled and not what's already, quote, loaded. So that's a little bit of working with those mixer brush tools. And that's good to go. So now I'm going to show you working with the pattern stamp tool. So if I'm going to do it myself here, we'll go over to the left and go to the pattern stamp tool. In case you don't see it, it's probably going to be there by default, but it could be in a submenu. But we've got a pattern stamp tool, and now we're going to go over here to our brushes and select the brush. It's really just one brush, the Multicolor Glow ABR. And then up on top here, we're going to pick which of our patterns we want to paint out. And very important, you've got to make sure that this Impressionist brush is checked. If it's not, it's going to just spit out these patterns not very nice. So I'm going to select the first one, Light 1 Outer Glow pattern, and I'm just going to go like this. And it's going to paint out those colors just like so. I always recommend, obviously, if you have a tablet, if you don't, you're not going to have the thick to thin strokes like this. It's all going to be like one size. But you can still do it even if you have a mouse. But just a heads up, obviously, you need that tablet to get those thick to thin strokes like this. So I'll select maybe the second one, and then it's going to spit out these other colors, or the third one, and we're going to have the different colors. So that's working with that. If you didn't have the Impressionist, well, when you start painting, it's just going to paint out this pattern just like I've created it, which is not nice. The pattern doesn't matter how it looks, it's just all the colors that are in there. So you need that Impressionist checked so that it paints out all the colors like this. So that's using the pattern stamp tool. But as I mentioned, I've also given you the pattern stamp tool preset, which is already loaded with those colors. So we've got the Light 1 Multicolored Glow, and it's got that brush already with the Light 1 colors loaded. Here is with the Light 2 colors loaded, and here is with the Light 3 colors loaded. So that's so that you could just pick it up and start playing straight away. So that is the overview in depth of how to work with the mixer brushes and the pattern stamp brushes, in case you're not already familiar with it. And what I've done is I've showed you how to do them yourself, loading the colors up yourself, or you can use the tool presets that I've created for you that already have the colors loaded and ready to go. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and then in the next one I will show you in the Instagram videos, then you'll see how to draw it yourself.